Hi everyone, welcome to the Foursquare webinar. Thanks for joining. Today we will discuss how to create engaging app experiences, leveraging location data. We'll still give people a few more minutes to join. I see people trickling in, so we'll probably start on like 10:03, 10:04. Okay, we've passed the 20 attendees mark, so we are getting there. One more minute and we'll get started. All right. Let's get going. So first, welcome, thanks for joining. My name is David Boulanger. I am the product director for Foursquare Premium SDK and Foursquare Consumer Apps. Before Foursquare, I work at the weather company on large-scale mobile consumer apps, leveraging location data to deliver personalized user experiences. I am based in Los Angeles, and I'm not faking my French accent. It's real. I've tried to get rid of it for the past 10 years, but it sticks, so you have to bear with me. I was born and raised in the north of France, in Normandy, and worked in Paris for 10 years before moving to the US. I would love for this session to be interactive, so please feel free to ask questions as we go along. We have like a chat question box on the side, so you can put your question. I will try to respond in real time. So before diving into location and experiences, let's take a quick step back. You are opening a delivery food app, and a few taps later, a burger shows up at your doorstep. No more taxi hustling. You are opening a ride-sharing app, and your choice of car picks you up at your location in 5 minutes. If you think of it, 50 years ago, it was just science fiction. But today, those two apps have a simple user experience and have high value to the end user. They are creating magical moments. You see, users don't care about the underlying technology or location services. What they care about is the experience, the convenience, and the delivered value. App publishers and developers need to create apps that deliver a simple and valuable experience. Apps that instill trust with privacy-centric designs, apps that drive repeated engagement and provide consumer insights to iterate and constantly improve the experience. Bottom line, you need to create magical moments for your users. So how do you achieve that? All the experiences I've described are leveraging behind-the-scene location-based technology. Foursquare has a suite of products to create those magical moments for your users. The most powerful experience can be built with Foursquare Premium SDK, which was born out of the Foursquare consumer app and is leveraging Foursquare Snap to Place and visit detection technology to offer unique accuracy. The Foursquare Places API is a lighter implementation for search or simple recommendation use cases. And finally, with Foursquare Visits, you can tackle analytics, forecasting, and modeling use cases. So now let's dive into how location data helps developers and publishers. When we are onboarding a new Pilgrim SDK partner, we are doing a couple of things. We are helping the partner team, usually a mix of product marketing, UX, engineering, data science, to go through 5 steps to make sure that they can successfully implement Pilgrim. Step 1, identify a strong location-driven feature. If you have a flashlight app, there is no reason and value to ask for location permission to users. And with the current privacy landscape, probably no one will share with you their permission for background location. Step 2, managing location permissions to optimize conversion rates and build trust with your user. Step 3, deliver a magical experience to engage with your user and keep them coming. Step 4, look at the data. Location behaviors are extremely valuable to get a better understanding of your users. And step 5, leverage the data to drive repeated engagement through personalized experiences. Finally, once we have gone through those steps, we also provide partners a UX audit, reviewing onboarding flow, permission requests, and overall location user experience to help them organize and optimize their location feature implementation. Now, let's take a closer look at each step. So step 1, it might sound obvious, but to be successful, we need to have a strong location-based feature that delivers added value to your user and will make sure that you can go through Apple and Google App Store review process for background location permission without any issues. A few examples of location-based features. Push notification, probably the fastest and simplest way to get started and experiment with location data. Personalized recommendation, delivered through in-app behavior or push notifications. Location-based dashboard, you can think of visit history for reward program, for example, where you could list like all the visit pattern of the user with their like points associated to those visits. And also for retailers and QSR, you can create automatic user check-in and check-out when entering or leaving a store. No questions so far. I haven't seen anything in the question chat, but I will keep going. Once you have a clear idea of the location-based feature, the next step is to start thinking about how and when to request location permission. 2 main opt-in strategies. 1, upfront request during the onboarding process, where you will funnel the user through a succession of primers and native permission prompts. 2, feature-based, only requesting permission when a user is engaging with a feature requiring a native permission. For example, in Foursquare City Guide, we are prompting for location services when users are searching for a specific venue. We trigger the while using app prompt first, then we upsell always allow and push notification after a few app launches to make the user experience simpler and more personalized. We highly recommend to A/B test different permission flows and copies, experiment with primer and no primer, and finally test upfront against feature-based permission to find out what your user preferences are. I would add that transparency is key. Be upfront with your user of the why and of the value they will get with location. A quick note on the Google Sensitive App permission for Android developers. When it was introduced back in April 2020, Pilgrim partners reached out as they were struggling on how to create and submit the video proof of the location feature. It is simpler than it sounds. For all Android Foursquare apps, what we did is just took screenshots of the location permission flow and the main location feature, then created a video using the Google Photo tool on the device and uploaded it on YouTube. It probably took us less than 20 minutes for each app, so don't overthink it, it is straightforward. Step 3, learn more about your user. A lot of publishers and marketers tend to overlook the power of location data. For example, if you don't have a login experience and a user profile, What do you know about your users besides in-app behavior? And even when you have a login experience and say your users are making purchases within your app, you still have an incomplete picture of their preferences and behavior. It's easy to leverage Foursquare Pilgrim SDK visitation patterns to better understand your user. Who are they? What type of activities, food, store do they enjoy? What competitor are they visiting? How often? We also make it easy for you to ingest and activate those data. You can send all visits data to a S3 bucket by flipping a switch in the Pilgrim Developer Console for analytics use case. You can send your data to a marketing automation platform to trigger location-based notifications, or you can send your data to a customer data platform to build user profiles or append location data to existing profiles. To highlight the importance of your user data, I will quote the Merkle 2021 Customer Engagement Report, where 88% of marketers say that collecting first-party data is a 2021 priority, and that the best data is when customers trust the brand and are willing to share their data with the understanding that it will improve their overall experience. Step 4, show your user a good time. Smart location-powered features can bring magical moments to your user. Think of making your user life simpler. Think of surprising them by leveraging location. A few questions you can ask yourself to find the right feature for your app. Does your app experience change based on the user location? Does your messaging change based on the user location? If you are a retailer or a QSR, are your pickup and delivery experiences location enabled? Can you gamify your experience with location? Can you increase fidelity with location-based rewards? All those should guide you to find the right feature. Finally, the last step is to drive repeated user engagement through personalized experiences. For example, GasBuddy, one of the latest Pilgrim SDK partners, provides their user with a personalized experience when commuting or road tripping, leading to more engagement and revenue for GasBuddy and more convenience and saving for app users. GasBuddy is driving repeated engagement through different touch points, push notifications, and in-app behavior. A user receiving location-based notification for the cheapest gas around them. A user is reminded to pay with their GasBuddy card to save more or to get a discount on items in the gas station store. A user opening the app, seeing a model with personalized messaging. On average, across Foursquare apps, we've seen 2.5 higher open rates with location-based push notifications compared to standard push notifications. Also, worth noting that a user is 3.1 more likely to visit an advertised store when served a notification near a competitor. So again, location-based notifications are highly efficient for user engagement and repeated engagement. Another Pilgrim partner example is Wendy's. One of Wendy's pain points was with their online ordering flow and ensuring users were checking at the right restaurant. People were ordering, but checking to the wrong restaurant, and then were waiting for the food where it wasn't ready, obviously. So with Pilgrim SDK, it was easy for the team to add a flow to suggest the closest location and or help the user to correct their location inputs. This feature did increase customer satisfaction and ultimately contributed to reducing food waste. Lastly, Flip, a couponing and reward app, is leveraging Pilgrim SDK for two things. Oh, I've got a question, so let me check that. Okay. Never mind. Not for all the audience. So Flip, a reward app and couponing app, is leveraging Pilgrim SDK for two things: creating a personalized experience by showing user nearby deals and coupons using push notification and in-app features. Leveraging And 2, they are leveraging Pilgrim visit data to power Flip's B2B dashboard for its merchant partner, surfacing location-based analytics. So we have a couple of partners using both Pilgrim for enterprise use case and consumer use case. So when you think about location technology, there are 5 key components you need to look for: accuracy, scale, privacy, accessibility, and independence. Let's start with accuracy. Foursquare, over the past 12 years, has ingested 14 billion human verified check-ins and is constantly refining its machine learning model to improve its stop detection and snap-to-place technology. Foursquare is also the only location company accredited by the Media Rating Council, which is a testament to the quality and accuracy of its data. Scale. Foursquare has access to 500 million devices and 95 million places globally, 900 venues category, 2.4 million venue update monthly, and over 50 platforms have integrated our targeting solution. Privacy. We have a privacy and policy team constantly monitoring the evolution of the privacy landscape, working with regulators in Washington, D.C., and vetting all Foursquare partners. We have also implemented double consent in our consumer apps and are auditing partners on a regular basis. So double consent is when you have a primer before permission and where you will ask the user, I agree, and then you will show the native permission after the primer. Accessibility. Over 400 integrated partners and partnerships allow easy access to our data. For example, Pilgrim has native integration with a major marketing automation and customer data platform, such as Airship, Iterable, Braze, and Segments, to name a few. Independence. We are platform agnostic. And because of our accessibility, you can use our data in walled gardens or not. You can use them in your own systems. There is no limitation on how you can access and use Foursquare data. So why should you think of Foursquare to power your location experiences and analytics? We are not the leading location company by accident. Over the past 12 years, we have built a high-performing tech stack. We are ingesting first-party data coming from our consumer apps and verified third-party data from trusted partners to remove any potential bias and increase scale. Then, through a set of machine learning models, we can power Foursquare downstream core products. Foursquare Visits for forecasting, modeling, and enrichment, Foursquare Audience and Foursquare Proximity for audience and campaign management, Foursquare Pilgrim SDK and Foursquare Places for enterprise, developer, and product use case, and finally, Foursquare Attribution for all measurements and analytics use case. All our data and products are widely available through partners such as AWS, Snowflake, mParticle, and The Trade Desk, to name a few. Any questions so far? No? All right, so let's move on. So to learn more about how developers can leverage location data and technology, please go check Foursquare.com. Now we can move to Q&A. All right, I see one first question. All right, so I'm just gonna read it for everyone in the audience. So how do you expect Android's upcoming location permission changes to impact developer ability to use location data to drive a better experience? That's a really good question. So let's take a step back. When Apple released Approximate Location last year, we ran some experiments on Foursquare consumer apps. And what we've seen is 99% of existing users kept their settings at always allow, and only less than 1% changed their permission to Approximate Location. We believe that existing Foursquare City Guide and Swarm users are more likely to understand why location access is asked for and feel the value they receive makes it worthwhile to share their data. For new users, 65% of them opted into while using, with precise location turned on. An additional 20% of users opted into always allow. I would think we would see a similar pattern on Android apps with strong location use cases requiring precise location. They will maintain a high level of conversion rate. The good news is that approximate location on Android is more granular than on iOS. Approximate location uses Google Play services to detect where you are based on Wi-Fi and cellular data. This can locate you within 100 meters accuracy. So when in approximate mode, an app could know which block you are on, but not know exactly which building you are standing in front of. So to address that, both on iOS and Android, we have enhanced and extended Pilgrim user state to better support approximate location. So even if a user is only sharing approximate location, Pilgrim will still provide location context like state, city, postal code, DMA, and country. And you will have the ability to leverage those informations to engage with your users. Okay, looking at questions. All right, so another questions. For developers, what is the most efficient method for accessing Foursquare data and or products? Is it better to access it via AWS or another platform? It's also a very good question. As mentioned earlier, we have tons of integration with major marketing platform, data platform, cloud platform. So at the end of the day, I don't think there is a better way. It all depends on your current tech stack and the size of your team and your use cases. For example, we have partners with very large data science teams. So in that case, I would recommend to send data to AWS to easily run analytics on Pilgrim raw visits to do like user segmentation, look at visit pattern, look at competition. On the other side of the spectrum, we have partners who are looking only to send location-based push notification. In that case, I would recommend to use one of our integration with a marketing automation platform. We also have webhooks that some partners are using to build custom solution on top of Pilgrim data. We are seeing that a lot for all enterprise use case where people are creating dashboards for their partners. All right. I see one more question. So how does Foursquare verify the accuracy of its first-party and third-party data? So for first-party data, we are looking at ground truth signal through user check-in and what we call P-check-in or passive check-ins, where Pilgrim will automatically snap a user to the most relevant venue. We will then benchmark those ground truth signal against our 14 billion historical check-ins. Our machine learning models are constantly improving because of this feedback loop. We have also a similar process for all places data sets. We maintain high accuracy and freshness for the data underlying Pilgrim experiences. For third-party data, as I mentioned earlier, our privacy team is vetting all Foursquare partners to ensure compliance and data quality. Then we have what we call the Pilgrim Verified program, where we are applying a machine learning model similar to our first-party data model, which benchmark third-party visits pattern against first-party visit pattern. That way we can see the discrepancy and make sure that it's not a bot or we are not seeing like weird pattern in the data. And then, all third-party visits that are below a specific threshold are discarded to make sure we have the highest quality. Okay, so I've got a question from John hey, John, nice seeing you there. So John is asking, is there anything expected in iOS 15 related to location and privacy that will change the way Foursquare views privacy-centric design? Not really, because I think we did the bulk of the work with iOS 14.5, where we did a lot of experimentation. I think one of the major initiatives we are working is probably to give partners more opportunities to get data into their own environment. So today, you can decide to share data with Foursquare, or you can decide to have those data coming into your wall. So we are going to put more and more work, making sure that you can access your data in your own cloud environment, making sure that data is not shared with Foursquare for privacy reasons. So I think, as long as you have like clear permission flow, transparency with your user on the usage of the data, the way you are collecting it, the way you are using it, nothing will change for Foursquare with iOS 15. It's just like I would say a small follow-up compared to iOS 14.5, which were like a major change from privacy landscape. Any other question from the audience? All right, so it's a wrap. Again, if you want to learn more, please go check foursquare.com. And if you have questions, you can also reach out to me around like location permissions, best practices. We are really happy to help you review like your app experiences and help you to implement like location features for your next release. Thank you.